Morning, my dear students. 8th Standard Science 1, Unit 5, Term 2, Electricity. Previous class, we have discussed introduction, atom, charges, transfer of charges, transfer by friction. Today class, we are going to see transfer by conduction. Transfer by conduction. When the ebonite rod is rubbed with a woolen cloth. Have you seen the picture, children? Ebonite rod is rubbed with a woolen cloth. Electrons from the woolen cloth are transferred to the ebonite rod. So the ebonite rod is positively charged initially. The woolen cloth is negatively charged. When the ebonite rod is rubbed with the woolen cloth, electrons from the woolen cloth are transferred to the ebonite rod. Now, the ebonite rod will be negatively charged. When it is brought near the paper cylinder, so paper cylinder has positive charge. So, negatively charged ebonite rod is brought near the paper cylinder. Negative charges in the rod are attracted by the positive charges in the cylinder. When the cylinder is touched by the rod, some negative charges are transferred to the paper. We know that, children, like charges repelled, unlike charges attracted. So, the negative charges in the rod are repelled by the negative charges in the cylinder. When the cylinder is touched by the rod, the paper cylinder is touched by the rod, some negative charges are transferred to the paper. So, paper has positive charge, the ebonite rod has negative charge. So, the negative charges is attracted by the positive charge. Hence, the negative charges in the rod are repelled by the negative charges in the cylinder. So, we can say that charges can be transferred to an object by bringing it in contact with a charged body. This method of transferring charges from one body to other body is called transfer by conduction. Next, activity 2. Take a sheet of paper. Turn it into a hollow cylinder. Tie one end of the cylinder with a silk thread and hang it from a stand. Now, take a ebonite rod and charge it by rubbing it with the woolen cloth. So, the negative charge is transferred from woolen cloth to ebonite rod. Bring this charged ebonite rod, it has negatively charged, near the paper cylinder. We know that paper has a positive charge. Also, we know that like charges repelled, unlike charges attracted. So, the cylinder, that means the paper cylinder, will be attracted by the negatively charged ebonite rod. If you touch the paper cylinder by the charged rod, you will see the paper cylinder repelling because the like charges. Can you give the reason? Yes. The like charges repel, unlike charges attract. When the cylinder is touched by the rod, some negative charges are transferred to the paper. Hence, the negative charges in the rod are repelled by the negative charges in the cylinder. So, we know that the like charges are repelled. Do you know the materials which allow electric charges to pass through them easily are called conductors of electricity? What is conductors of electricity? The materials which allow electric charges to pass through them easily are called conductors of electricity. For example, metals like aluminium and copper are good conductors of electricity. Materials which do not allow electric charges to pass through them easily are called, very good children, insulators. For example, rubber, wood, plastic are insulators. Next we are going to discuss about transfer by induction. We saw that we can charge an uncharged object. We saw that we can charge an uncharged object when we touch it by a charged object. But it is also possible to obtain charges in a body without any contact with other charged body. The process of charging an uncharged body by bringing a charged body near to it, but without touching, just near to it, but without touching, it's called induction. The uncharged body occurs an opposite charge at the near end and similar charge at the further end. Activity 3. Bring a negatively charged plastic rod near a neutral rod. When the negatively charged plastic rod is brought close to the neutral rod, the free electrons move away due to the repulsion and start piling up at the further end. The near end becomes positively charged due to deficit of electrons. When the neutral rod is grounded, the negative charges flow the ground. The negative charges always flow the ground. The positive charges at the near end remain held due to attractive forces and the electrons inside the metals becomes zero. When the rod is removed from the ground, suppose the rod is removed from the ground, the positive charges continue to be held at near end. This makes the neutral rod a positively charged rod. Similarly, when a positive charged rod is brought near an uncharged rod, negatively charged electrons are attracted towards it. As a result, there is excess of electrons at nearer end and deficiency of electron at the further end. The nearer end of the uncharged rod becomes negatively charged and far end is positively charged. Next, we are going to discuss about flow of charges. Before that, we are going to see charging by induction. Induction is the production of electric charge on the surface of a conductor under the influence of an electric field. The advantages of charging by induction is that it can be repeated many times without any loss of charge form the inducing specimen like the negatively charged rod. Next, we are going to discuss about flow of charges. Suppose you have two metallic spheres. Suppose you have two metallic spheres, one having more negative charge, that means excess of electrons, and the other having more positive charge, that means deficiency of electrons. When you connect them both with the help of metallic wire, excess electrons from the negatively charged sphere will start flowing towards the positively charged sphere because the unlike charges are attracted. This flow continues till the number of electrons in both the sphere is equal. Here the positively charged sphere is said to be at higher potential and the negatively charged sphere is said to be at lower potential. Hence, the electrons flow from lower potential to higher potential. This is known electric current flow of electrons. The difference between these potential is known as potential difference, commonly known as voltage. Before the discovery of electrons, it was considered that kinetic electric current is due to the flow of positive charges. Before discovery of electrons, we know that children, electron is a negatively charged. It was considered that electric current is due to the flow of positive charges. Flow of positive charge is called conventional current. Conventional current flows from higher potential to lower potential. Next children, we are going to see some working activity of atom, charges, transfer of charges, transfer by friction, transfer by conduction, transfer by induction, flow of charges. What is induction? Induction is a process of charging an uncharged body by bringing a charged body near to it but not touching it. Materials which allow electric charges to pass through them easily are called conductors of electricity. We can say that charges can be transferred to an object by bringing it in contact with the charged body. This method of transferring charges from one body to another body is called transfer by conduction. Friction between two objects results in transfer of electrons between them. When charged body touches another body, charges can be transferred from one body to another. A piece of paper is stored into bits. Positive and negative charges are present at the edges of bits. Negative charges in the comb attract positive charges in the bits. So the paper bits are moving towards the comb. This is the example of transfer by friction. A charged comb picking up small pieces of paper due to static electricity. Previous class we have discussed charges, like charges repel, unlike charges attract. An atom consists of proton, electron and neutron, which are called subatomic particles. Flow of charges. Thank you, children.